I am truly honored to welcome Calgary's first female mayor, first Sikh mayor. Let us welcome together the Honorable Mayor Jyoti Gondek.
Thanks very much, John. I am just racing here from my kid's high school grad. Yes, we did it. I say we, and all you parents know what I mean by that. So I would have started off by saying, oh my goodness, you all look so wonderful, but I just learned how to say that in a much cooler way. So that fit is lit, no cap, you're dripping. See, I can be cool. But seriously, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me to join you at this special event on behalf of my City Council colleagues, and I believe Councillors Carra, Putmans, and Walcott are here. Yes, I like them too. I would like to not only congratulate the recipients of this year's Black Achievement Awards, I would also like to thank Calgary Black Chambers for creating this organization that offers a sense of unity and community in our city. Celebrating the achievements of Black Calgarians is an important step in the history of our city. For too long, rooms celebrating accomplishments did not look like this. In past years, most of us were probably the only faces of color in many of our meetings, in many of our classrooms, and in many of our city's celebrations. Today's Calgary is different. We have found our place in community, and we are being seen for the value, the strength, and the purpose that we provide in society. I am thankful to Black Calgarians who shaped our city in the past, as well as those like you who are shaping a future that's inclusive, it's diverse, and it's welcoming of all the stories that define who we are. In 1974, Vernetta Anderson was elected to Calgary City Council, and it was really a transitional moment for our city. She was a compassionate and committed member of council, one who represented Ward 3 very well. And the mayor at that time, it was Mayor Sykes, described her to be intellectual, honest, and one who spoke common sense. It was an absolute privilege to be elected in the same ward as this incredible woman decades later, knowing that Vernetta Anderson's legacy paved the way for my own service. And although there is so much to celebrate when we reflect on stories like this, like Alderman Anderson's, we also need to remain aware that there is so much work ahead of us, work that we still must do together. We recognize that Black Canadians experience health and social inequities linked to processes of discrimination at multiple levels of society, including individual, interpersonal, institutional, and societal discrimination. And although Alberta has had the fastest growing population of Black Canadians, a 2016 survey tells us that relative to the national average, a higher proportion of Black individuals live in low-income environments, face lower levels of employment, achieve lower levels of education, and face a distinct wage gap. That cannot continue. These facts contributed in part to City Council advancing a commitment to becoming an anti-racist city in 2020. We need to address the issues of inequity that arise from systemic racism, and we need to take it seriously, and we have to take action immediately. For my part, I am committed to action that is driven by education and informed by perspectives. I am very grateful to people like Dr. Melinda Smith and Dr. Minetta Bailey. Yes, they are scholars and advocates who have shared with me their own lived experiences as Black women, as well as provided recommendations on how to tackle the incredibly heavy work before us on anti-racism. I am grateful to people like Simone Elizabeth Saunders and Lanri Ajayi, who have shared their creative talents with Calgarians in a brilliant effort to use arts and culture as a means of education. I am grateful to Cheryl Fogo, who documented the story of John Ware. Before I got to know Cheryl, I knew nothing of John Ware and his significance as a Black pioneer in Alberta. I knew very little about the history of Black people in Calgary and the discrimination they faced and the battles that they bravely fought to make our city less racist. It's through storytellers like Cheryl that we ensure the real history of our world is clear. And it's storytellers like this that also push us to change things, very much like the announcement earlier this week of a plaque commemorating John Ware at Bayou Ranch in southern Alberta. I also want to extend a special thanks to Councillor Courtney Walcott, who very similarly provided me with an insightful perspective on Black Lives Matter and the lived experience of Black Calgarians well before he ever contemplated running for council and winning his seat. We are better as a city with his service. I told you to stay. Racial inequities are driven by historic injustices. Without a retelling of history, a retelling that brings in the missing actors, the narrative remains colonial and one-sided. Together, let us rewrite the history of Calgary. We will build on the legacy of mothers and fathers who gave up their dreams and sacrificed so much. The people who marched, the ones who voted, those who are at the public hearings on systemic racism, those who conduct anti-racism research, and those who died advocating for equitable access to healthcare, to education, and employment. In memory of those who have gone before us and done the heavy lifting and brought us this far, we have a ways to go on this journey, and I am proud and privileged and humbled every day to be on that journey with you. Thank you so much, everyone.